Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to Budget with a July Dreamer. My name is Miranda, and on this channel I share personal finance. I talk about budgeting, saving and investing. If these topics interest you, then please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into today's video where I will be sharing my December 2021 budget closeout. So we are already in the new year. I have sat down, I crunched the numbers, and I looked at what I have done in the month of December 2021. Not everything went according to plan, but this is why we budget, this is why we save, this is why we invest, so that when things don't go according to plan, we still have a plan in place to cover the things that don't go to plan. You know what I'm saying? So I will start this video off first by sharing the goals that I had written down that I wanted to accomplish in the month of December. And these goals I feel like I accomplished the majority of them, and then there's some that I am just like, things happen. So let's start off with the first one, which was geared towards savings. I wanted to be able to add £500 towards my home maintenance fund, and you will notice that I did accomplish this when I share my budgeting tracker. And then I wanted to add £100 towards my travel fund, and again, this is something that I was able to accomplish. When we moved to the investing, I wanted to send £500 towards Vanguard, £50 towards my general investment, and £50 towards crypto. I accomplished all of that. For the sinking funds, I said I wanted to send £75 towards my car MOT, £100 towards my car tax, and then I wanted to send £50 towards day trips. These I accomplished some I didn't, and I ended up doing some rejiggling within my budget, and then I was able to make everything right. But I will show you exactly what I'm talking about when I start sharing my budget tracker in a few minutes. Other goals that I had were to purchase a Secret Santa gift, which I did. I was going to attend a spa. I didn't manage to at all. I was supposed to attend 3 spas. We couldn't get places for any of them, and in the end we just did something else. So I literally couldn't do that. I met up with my friends. I said I wanted to meet up with 3 of my friends. I met up with 3 of them, and then I was due to pick my mom up for Christmas to spend with me, but then I caught COVID. Yeah, so for Christmas I isolated, which was not the best. This is the first time in my life that I'd spent Christmas alone. I've spent many birthdays alone by choice because I mean half the time I just want my own company, but Christmas is about family, you know. So that one, 2021 will go on record of being not the best Christmas, but actually I'm thankful for my health that I wasn't impacted the way other people have been impacted by COVID. So I'm thankful for that in any case. So those were the goals that I had for the month of December 2021. Some were accomplished, some not so much. Now we will move on to the tracker. If you're interested in using the budgeting tracker that I will be showing on the screen shortly, you can purchase this from my Etsy shop. I always have the link to my shop in the description bar below. So let me start the screen record. I'll shrink myself to the corner and we can begin. So starting off with the income tab, obviously I've mentioned this countless times. If you're new around here, I don't actually share with you the sources of income and how much I make from those, but I share with you the final numbers or what I am expecting. So for the month of December 2021, I was expecting to work with 4,100. I ended up working with 7,167 and 79 pence, which is an average of 3,067 and 79 pence. So I have the total expenditures here because I do a zero-based budgeting, which just means my income minus my expenses equates to 0. And having the total expenditures here on the top just helps for me to see it quite easily at a quick glance that I say that I had a what I'm trying to say is I had an income of 7,167.79 pence, and that's exactly what I budgeted. So this is why I have this tab at the top. Normally for my previous trackers this was at the bottom, but I like having it at the top because it just gives me a quick glance at exactly where my money went. So if we move to my first bucket, which is savings and investments. So with this one, it's broken down to the savings here at the top and then the investment contributions just there at the bottom. So home maintenance fund, say 500. I put 500. Plum Savings, so this is an app that's attached to my everyday banking where my salary and all of my other sources of income get paid into. So I always say I want to save at least £100. These are all automatic savings by this app. And for the month of December, I was able to save 244.45 pence. Then month ahead, I never obviously budget anything because I was just keep the money in the account and then I add it to the sources of income that I'm getting. And then for the month of December, I actually ended with £1,932. My 31-day savings challenge, this one I actually started after I had created my budget tracker. This is where it is in red. I didn't budget anything for that, but I was able to save £124. And what I did with that £124 was actually move it to my sinking funds. And I'll talk about my sinking funds at the end of this video. My 100-day savings challenge, which I started on the 23rd of September with the goal of spending the money on the 1st of January, I was able to save in the month of December. I managed to save £20.83, which overage, so the overall total that I was able to save in the end came to about 80, I believe it was £86. That's how much I believe I was able to save. £86.13. And what I did with that money, I moved £50 towards my travel fund, and then £3 and £36.13 I splash. I mentioned in my last Transfer Tuesday for the month of December that I'd decided what I wanted to do with that money, and I decided part of it was going to go towards my savings and part of it I was just going to splash on whatever. And I did splash on whatever. I did buy chocolate and wine. I did what I said I was going to do. So yeah, and then so that was the end of my my savings. Now, one thing to remind you of is the fact that 2,821.28 pence is not what I sent to my savings because of this number. So if I remove this number, then it shows the actual amount that I sent to my savings, which is 889.28 pence. So I always make sure that I tell you how much I sent to my savings because this number can be quite deceptive. In a way, it's accurate in that the money does stay in my account, but when it comes to actually what I sent towards my savings accounts, we have to be very clear on that number. For my investment contributions, I have my Vanguard ISA 500. I said I wanted to put, I put 508.15 pence. The 8.15 pounds was actually a fee. So this is why I'm still saying I was able to just send £500. My pension 100, I send 100. My general investment, so this is my trading with eToro, free trade, crypto, and all of that jazz. I said £100, and that's what I did. If you remember, as part of my January goals, £50 was to my general investments, cancel E-Trade, you know, eToro, free trade, and all of that jazz, and then £50 towards crypto, and that's what I did in the month of December. So I was able to do spend 708.15 pence. Let's move over to my fixed expenses. Again, I will try not to go through every single line here, except one where there's significant change. So for home expenses, what I said I wanted to send there is what I did. Insurance, I did. Recreation, so things like Netflix, Spotify, what I said I wanted to spend is what I did. My gym, I mentioned in my budgeting for December that I have paused my Peloton bike, so there won't be any payment until March, so this is why this is blank. Then for personal spending, this is where shit hit the fan, excuse my French. But okay, so let's go to, firstly we'll go to beauty. So beauty, I budgeted £30 and I ended up spending £87 and 49 pence. Shopping, I budgeted £73 because I was anticipating spending a bit more. It was the month of December after all. I ended up spending £225 and 45 pence. I was £152 and 45 pence over budget. I have zero excuse. Zero excuse. This does include some Christmas presents, and I did get the money from the Christmas fund and put in there, but there's some that is actually just me spending. I have no excuse. I'm just gonna say I spent it. That's it. The beautiful thing is I spent money that I had and I did not go into debt because of my shopping. I had the money, so I was able to afford the spending. The beautiful thing about budgeting, the beautiful thing about saving is when these things happen, it doesn't throw you off kilt. You still have the money. And again, even though I was doing a lot of shopping, at the back of my mind, I already knew that I actually had this money in my account that I could use for things that I wanted. And that's exactly what happened. So instead of spending 263 for personal spending, I ended up spending 462 and 29 pence, which is almost £200 overage of what I had budgeted. Tithe and giving, I am blocking that out. Moving forward, you won't be seeing how much I am giving or tithing. I'm a Christian, I believe in giving and tithing, and I do this, but it won't be something that I'll be showing the numbers on moving forward. You may have an idea of what this has been in the past, but this is changing. I'm increasing it, but I'm also just going to keep this private. So total expenses, I thought 1,900. I ended up spending 2,103 and 98 pence, which is 29% of my overall income that I received, an overage of £203 and 98 pence. Then if we go to my variable expenses, so when it comes to food, this was also another interesting area at home. So this is food that I go buy the shop and I cook at home. I budgeted 100. I spent less than that, which is great. For restaurants, again, shit hit the fan. I budgeted 50, which was an oversight on my part because I knew I was going to be going out with friends. I knew every single weekend in December except for Christmas was completely booked, so I should have actually budgeted more, but I actually was also thinking my Christmas budget was going to cover it. It did cover part of it, but not everything. So I ended up spending £192 and 99 pence, which is £142 and 99 pence, almost 150 over what I had budgeted. Again, an oversight on my part, but I still had the money and I was able to spend only what I had and not incur debt. Then for entertaining, so because I got COVID, I decided that instead of spending £25, I was gonna spend a little bit more because I was feeling sorry for myself, and I ended up spending £48 and 27 pence, which is £23 27 pence more than what I had budgeted. I'm not mad about this, but I was feeling down and I wanted to cheer myself up, so yes, I went over here and I've got no excuse whatsoever. Snacks, again, I went over. I budgeted 25 and actually spent 32.31, so I went over by £7, £31 pence. Budget for food was £200. For actual spending came to 368 and 23 pence, which is 5% of my overall budget, which is 168 and 23 pence over what I had budgeted. And for my January 2022 budget, you will notice that I've increased my food budget because of this. Well, not because of this only, but because of seeing the price of things have just been going up and up, so I want to make sure that I don't overspend. So in my mind, I'll still stick to £200, but I have increased it on paper just to cover myself in case I go over. Hopefully I do not. And then miscellaneous spending is also where shit hit the fan as well. So for miscellaneous spending, I had £25 because you always have to have a category for miscellaneous spending. For the month of December, I ended up spending £172.09, which was almost £150 over what I had budgeted. But hell ho, again, no excuse whatsoever. Then for my subscriptions and fees, so this one I'm only over because I got charged for January 2022 earlier, and I needed to make sure I reflected that in my budget for some of my subscriptions. So this is the only reason why I ended up paying more than what I actually budgeted. So that is fine. I'm not too mad about that at all. And then for transportation, I didn't do a lot of driving, but I decided to take public transport, so that cost me a little bit more than what I budgeted. I'd only put £10 for public transport because I rarely take public transport, and I ended up spending £54.33 because I did go into London. We took Ubers and all of that jazz. So I spent 114.04 pence in total on transportation. So overall, for my variable expenses, I budgeted 345. I spent 690.78 pence, which is 10% overall of my total income that I received for the month of December. Now, if we move on to sinking funds, so for sinking funds, the first up is emergency fund. I did not budget anything for short-term savings and for rental, but I ended up adding £100 to each bucket. For home, I had budgeted for buildings and contents insurance, home emergency, and home maintenance, and I budgeted 50, 25, 55, and I ended up adding 50, 25, 122 and 39 pence. But I also spent from the home maintenance fund 131 and 99 pence as well. So, you know, I mean, things happen, which is fine. Then for car, I had budgeted only for my annual car check, my MOT, and my tax, which was part of my goals. So £25 towards my annual check, 75 towards MOT, and 100 towards my car tax. And I was able to send 50 towards my annual car check, 75 towards my MOT, and 100 towards my car tax, which was great. So I fully funded these two sinking funds. This was my goal, and I'm happy that I was able to accomplish that. Then for gifts, Christmas, I didn't add anything, but I didn't budget anything, but I ended up adding £21 and 21 pence because I went over budget. I spent 156 and 21 pence when I only had 135 in that account. Birthdays, I budgeted 25. I did put 25, but I ended up spending 52 pounds because part of the trips that I made in the month of December was for a friend's birthday, so I spent a little bit more there. And then other holidays, I wanted to put 50, but I only managed to put 25 because I had to cut back and send that towards birthdays and Christmas instead. Nothing for subscriptions because I was able to fully fund them back in November. Then for travel, staycation, I had not budgeted anything. Vacation, I wanted to put 100 and I did. Day trips, I wanted to put 50 and I did. So I thought I was going to send 555 towards my sinking funds. In the end, I ended up sending 843 and 60 pence, and I spent 352 and 20 pence on my sinking fund. So the month of December was a totally interesting one in that I overspent in a few categories, but when you look at the sources of income that I had, I actually was within my budget. I did not blow my budget, so I am not going into the new year, into January, with a negative number. I never do that. I always budget more than what the amount actually is. And then when I'm even when I'm doing frivolous spending, I actually have in the back of my mind exactly how much frivolous spending I can do, because I do have savings pots, sinking funds, normal savings and what have you that I can pull from. But I never touch things like my emergency fund just for frivolous spending, because that's not what that is for. This is why I have a lot of savings accounts, a lot of saving pots for various things, because I know something will come up. And miscellaneous spending is a thing, and if I were you, I would also set a sinking fund for miscellaneous spending, because honestly, miscellaneous spending is something that a lot of us experience every single month. So yeah, this is all I wanted to share for my December 2021 budget recap video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video.